Imagine this. One of the greatest scientists in history, Sir Isaac Newton, chose a myth about a magical ship and a golden fleece to build his entire timeline of the world. Sounds crazy, right? But that's exactly what happened. Newton, the same guy who figured out gravity, based his world chronology on the legendary voyage of the Argonauts. This story, full of dragons and magic, became the foundation for his calculations. It's like using a fairy tale to write a history book. But there's a reason why Newton did this, and it's a story that spans centuries and reshapes how we understand the past. Newton, a deeply religious man, believed that myths were not just stories but real events that had been exaggerated over time. He thought that ancient myths, like the voyage of the Argonauts, were based on historical facts. The Argonauts, led by Jason, were said to have sailed to Colchis to find the Golden Fleece. This fleece was guarded by a dragon, and the ship, the Argo, had a magical beam that could predict the future. Newton saw these elements as symbolic of real events, and used them to anchor his chronology. Newton was a master of astronomy, and he knew that the movements of celestial bodies could be used to date events. He believed that if he could find a specific astronomical event mentioned in ancient texts, he could use it to pinpoint the date of the Argonauts' voyage. For example, he used the precession of the equinoxes, a slow change in the Earth's axis, to calculate the time that had passed since the Argonautic expedition. This method, though brilliant, was based on a miscalculation by Hipparchus, an ancient Greek astronomer. Newton corrected this and used his findings to date the voyage to about 43 years after the death of Solomon, a key figure in biblical history. By fixing the date of the Argonautic expedition, Newton could then date other significant events in ancient history. For instance, the fall of Troy and the founding of Rome were both linked to the Argonauts. Herodotus, the ancient Greek historian, had written that the time between the Argonautic voyage and the fall of Troy was 1 generation. Newton used this information to create a timeline that connected the Greek and Roman worlds with biblical events. This was a groundbreaking approach, but it was also highly controversial. Newton's chronology was met with both praise and criticism. Some scholars hailed it as a genius synthesis of history and science, while others dismissed it as a sagacious romance. Despite the controversy, Newton's ideas influenced the way people thought about history. The young Edward Gibbon, the famous historian, respected Newton's work and used it as a reference in his own writings. Newton's approach to history, rooted in astronomy and the Bible, provided a new way to understand the past. However, Newton's chronology was limited by the historical knowledge of his time. Most people in the 18th century believed that history began with the events described in the Bible. The concept of prehistory, the time before written records, was not widely accepted. It wasn't until the mid-19th century that the term prehistory entered European vocabularies. The 18th century saw the rise of public museums, which played a crucial role in expanding our understanding of the past. The British Museum, founded in 1753, was one of the first to open its doors to the public. These museums displayed a wide range of objects, from ancient coins to sculptures, and they attracted visitors from all walks of life. The collections included artifacts from around the world, brought back by explorers, missionaries, and traders. These objects sparked curiosity and led people to ask new questions about the past. One of the most significant figures in the discovery of prehistory was Christian Jürgensen Thomsen, a Danish businessman and amateur archaeologist. Thomsen was not a trained scholar, but he had a keen eye for detail and a practical approach to organizing objects. In 1819, he opened the first public museum in Copenhagen, where he displayed his collection of ancient artifacts. He noticed that the objects could be grouped into 3 categories based on the materials they were made from: stone, bronze, and iron. This simple observation led him to propose the 3-age system: the Stone Age, the Bronze Age, and the Iron Age. Thomsen's 3-age system was a revolutionary idea. It suggested that human history could be divided into distinct stages, based on the materials used to make tools and weapons. This system provided a framework for understanding the development of human societies over time. It also challenged the idea that stone tools were always used by the poor and metal tools by the rich. Thomsen's system showed that the use of materials changed over time, reflecting technological advancements and cultural shifts. Thomson's ideas were initially met with skepticism, but they gradually gained acceptance. His book, Guide to Scandinavian Antiquities, published in 1836, outlined the three-age system and was translated into multiple languages. This helped spread the idea across Europe and beyond. Thomson's practical approach to museum management and his ability to engage the public with history made him a pioneering figure in the field of archaeology. The three-age system had a profound impact on the way we understand prehistory. It provided a framework for dating and organizing artifacts from different periods, and it helped archaeologists make sense of the vast amount of material they were discovering. The system also showed that human history was much longer and more complex than previously thought. By focusing on the everyday objects of prehistoric people, Thomson and other archaeologists were able to paint a more accurate picture of life in the distant past. As more and more artifacts were discovered and studied, our understanding of prehistory continued to evolve. Archaeologists and historians began to explore the lives of people who lived long before the written word. They uncovered evidence of early human settlements, tools, and art, which provided insights into the development of human societies. The discovery of prehistory expanded our view of the past and challenged many of the assumptions that had been held for centuries. Newton and Thomson, despite their different approaches, both contributed to our understanding of history. Newton used mythology and astronomy to create a timeline that connected the ancient world with biblical events. Thomson used practical observation and common sense to develop a system that helped us understand the long and complex history of human development. Together, their work laid the foundation for modern chronology and prehistory. The story of how we came to understand our past is as fascinating as the past itself. From Newton's use of myth to Thomson's practical approach to museum management, the journey of historical discovery is a testament to human curiosity and ingenuity. Today, we have a much richer and more nuanced understanding of history, thanks to the work of these and many other pioneers. Whether through the lens of astronomy, mythology, or archaeology, the quest to understand our past continues to inspire and enlighten us.